d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, e3, c5, knight e2, c takes d4, e takes d4, d5, a3, bishop takes c3, check, knight takes c3, d takes c4, bishop takes c4, castle kingside, castle kingside, knight c6, bishop e3, b6, bishop a2, bishop b7, rook e1, knight e7, bishop g5, knight g6, d5, e takes d5, queen d4, h6, bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, queen takes f6, g takes f6, rook a d1, rook f e8, bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, knight takes d5, king g7, rook takes e8, rook takes e8, knight e3, rook e5, g3, f5, rook d4, knight f8, rook d3, rook b5, b4, a5, knight d5, a takes b4, a takes b4, knight h7, rook d4, knight f6, knight e3, rook e5, king f1, king g6, king e2, rook e6, f3, b5, rook d2, rook a6, rook c2, knight d7, f4, knight f8, rook d2, knight e6, knight d5, rook a3, knight e7, check, king f6, knight c6, h5, knight e5, king e7, rook d7, check, king e8, rook takes f7, knight d4, check, king f2, rook a2, check, king e3, knight c2, check, king d3, knight e1, check, king c3, rook c2, check, King b3. Rook takes h2. Rook takes f5. Rook h3. King b2. Rook takes g3. Rook takes h5. Rook e3. Rook h6. King d8. Rook d6 check. King c7. Rook c6 check. King b7. Rook c5. Rook e4. Rook takes b5 check. King a6. Rook a5 check. King b6. King c3. Rook takes f4. Knight c4 check. King b7. b5. Rook f3 check. King d4. Knight c2 check. King e4. Rook h3. Knight d6 check. King c7. Rook a6. Rook h4 check. King f3. Rook b4. Rook c6 check. King d7. Rook takes c2. King takes d6. Rook d2 check. King c5. King e3. King takes b5. Rook d4. Rook takes d4. King takes d4.